come up with regulations that will count that are actually transacting with the mine. Yeah, so with the mine owners, we have assured them and we promote investment. We want to encourage investment because we believe in a principle of shared value. A principle of shared value is where the mines will have a fair return on their investment. And the Zambians also have some value derived from it in the world. So it's a win-win situation. Nobody is disadvantaged. The that you find in the Commonwealth there was built from proceeds of the land. The mines were building houses for their workers. The mines were building clubs, social amenities for their workers. They were building roads, just to beautify these tunnels. So the questions the miners are asking, they're saying, is it the same copper that used to be mined 10 years ago that is still being mined now? If it's still the same copper, why is Chirabongo looking at it? Why is Chingola looking at it? Why is Soloji looking at it? The mines literally take care of these communities. They look at the welfare of workers by building houses. The mines have got an option. They can own those houses as part of their stock, their assets, or they can build and also give them to workers as loans. Remember that worker morale, motivating workers actually improves production as it were. So the mines have to go an extra mile. If they have durable investments, they should look at the longevity of these investments, but also looking at the welfare of their workers, in addition to salaries. Where are they living? Do they have water? Do they have roads? Do they have... So Zambians are expecting a little more from the mines than merely taxes, which in most cases are given incentives. Tax holidays. So Zambians simply feel they're getting a raw deal from the government.
Now, driving around the Copper Belt, without exception, the road infrastructure is being deployed on the Copper Belt. I'm talking to people, please mark that the road infrastructure is being deployed. But then also talking to people, they are complaining about the high cost of living. They are complaining about lack of jobs. They are complaining about load shedding. Are these some of the priorities that you are likely to focus on should the Zambian people entrust you with leadership of the state?
Yes, Speaker, the central message that we have is poverty reduction. Poverty levels are as high as 70% now in most parts of the country. So our core message is poverty reduction. How do we reduce poverty? We can only reduce poverty through employment creation. We should be able to create sustainable employment to fight poverty. Now, that's unemployment creation alone. Some of the measures that we have announced, let's look at the local content. By giving local businesses up to 50% of businesses transacting, we have actually created employers immediately through that measure. Now, you have, for instance, about $5 billion worth of business in the mines every year. So you're literally sending $2.5 billion worth of business to Zambian companies. That measure alone, I think, will result in a lot of jobs. This is within a year. Okay. Secondly, you look at, for instance, the issue of dump sites. We have made it very clear to say we want investors who are going to invest in greenfield. All right. Most of those dumps, this was waste. These were byproducts from the mainstream mining. So clearly, if we have any serious investment, we want an investor who's going to come and break ground, an investor who's going to invest in greenfield, an investor who's going to employ people. So we will take their attention and focus away from the state, away from the dumps. We are preserving them for our use, and we're very clear about that. We are handing back all these dumps and all these tailings back to the state. And when we give them back to it, in formalizing the small-scale mining sector, we will also empower the youth with equipment. We are not sending them back to those pits where they go and die. We'll train them through safe mining. We'll also provide equipment because they will be formalized. The mining activities will be formalized. We expect them to transition from mining in the camps or in terms of talent to be strong enough and come together and also be able to start greenfield mines as well. So we're developing young miners who are going to run greenfield projects in the near future, having raised the capital from those banks. So the attention of the investor should be taken away today from there. Let the investors, get into real investment, break ground, and create employment for them. So that's how we're going to fight poverty. We'll fight poverty through job creation. And the measures were pronounced in the first place. Let's look at the sector minimum wage. That will definitely improve the conditions of service for most of the miners, thereby fighting poverty. Secondly, the local content will increase jobs on the market, thereby fighting poverty. The handing over of dump site intelligence to our youth and formalizing the sector, helping through empowering engagement will further create jobs. And of course, we will look at gold mining in the neighboring provinces and also formalize the sector.
Two quick questions and people, Mr. President. The first one being the nation has been very divided and people are calling for unity. What's your message of unity to the nation in your approach elections? That's number one. I'd like you to answer that also with the fact that previously before you stepped up, you were focusing on opposition. Now that you are attracting crowds, you are being voted, crowds want for. How do you respond to this sentiment?
Yeah, so maybe before I tackle the two, I would like to address the sentiments that came from Chief Nkani, which we feel pretty much are the issues that are coming from many other traditional leaders in the region. We will ensure that the Royal Highnesses or the chiefdoms, which are endowed with rich mineral resources, benefit from those particular resources. We will introduce some royalties that should be paid to chiefdoms. It's true that the chiefdoms will empower the women from those particular villages, the youth from those, and also invest in social media. So you will have development from two different angles. One coming through central government, coming in to local government, CDF level, but also chiefdoms where this mineral work is coming from. Because it's immoral to find chiefdoms that are living like that. And yet there are emeralds in that area, there are copper mines in that area, and there's no road. It's not even the road infrastructure. The roads are the ones that are being used by the same mining houses, transport and evacuate their produce. Yeah, so we are coming up with measures to ensure that the chiefdoms where this wealth is also benefit. There must be a difference. The difference must be there. Those communities should benefit, from this wealth, because so many years from now, all will have a bits, that will be left. So it will be good that even as they're leaving pits behind, there's also development. Maybe the chiefdoms will transition from mining into tourism or any other activity on account of infrastructure. You remember the story of Dubai. The Emiratis were very clear when they were producing oil, especially in Dubai. They knew to say, this is the Western asset. One day we want to do. So they made sure that there was huge investment within Dubai and the Abu Dhabi, and Sharjah, and all those areas, such that when the oil is depleted, they could rely on tourism. Today, it's one of the best tourism destinations. So the locals are still benefiting. So this is what we want to promote to many of these chiefdoms. We want to look at infrastructure. There must be solid infrastructure in these areas, such that one day when these activities are not there, there should be a sign that indeed there was some war. So as regards unity, we have promised to restore unity in our country. We restore unity and peace in our country. We are dealing with a country that is divided. It's divided along political and regional lines. So we, first of all, as president, I'm the first one to pronounce unity. I'm the first one to champion that particular program of unity. So what we are looking at is, let's look at Article 259. Article 259 talks about those that are empowered to make appointments. They should do so taking into account regional diversity, gender, among others. That could be the starting point. If you go in government institutions today, across the many organs of the state, you realize that the president and all those that are empowered to make appointments we are in violation of Article 259. You find that the people that are employed in senior positions are only coming from one region. Take a drive and check. Go to the Ministry of Education, the provincial education officers across the provinces who are commanding officers in the police. Where are they coming from? You go to national service, look at who's there. Yeah, so clearly, this is one of the things that has caused great divisions in our country. I think. You look at district education board secretaries across the country, and when you look at this, it's very sad. Yeah, so we'll begin to address some of these things immediately, so that employment in the civil service should take national character. Remember, PK, what we have said. We do not only want to change government, but we also want to change how government works. We are going to depoliticize the civil service. We are going to professionalize the civil service. We'll embark on a merit-based recruitment approach in the civil service, so that we begin to unite the nation. So we are bringing back the Ministry of Religious Affairs and National Guidance to also be able to attend to our national values and principles, as provided for under Article 8 and Article 9 of our Constitution. So through these measures and the commitment from the President, we'll see that we begin to unite our nation as it were. As regards opposition, yes, it's a reminder to all the political players that the power resides in the people. It's the people, it's the people that have the power. We are mere delegates. As leaders, we are mere delegates. And when we forget or we ascend to some position where we think that as political leaders we have all the power, then we miss the point. And certain reactions begin to come out as it were. So the real opposition resides in the people. It's the people that decide who they should choose. It's the people that decide how they should be treated. It's the people that decide how they should be governed. So when our friends were talking about there being no opposition, I think they missed that very point. They forgot that the people who were promised cheap energy, the people who were promised cheap fuel, people were promised cheap fertilizers, the people were promised inputs are the same Zambians. And the same Zambians were expected to vote in their millions. And that the same Zambians who feel cheated today, that the same Zambians who are saying we have to change government. Wherever we have been, there is constant call. We want to change. Why? Because the people are saying we can't continue to live this way. We are looking forward to a government of leaders that will be able to tell the truth. The Zambians are looking forward to leaders who are going to set a good example, with good morals, not leaders who are going to go on a platform to maybe descend on other citizens, begin to insult and set examples. Just yesterday, for the interest of the nation, there was an altercation between our youths and the police. One of the youths actually insulted the police officer. So I called the youth later to say, look, I know the president has insulted on the platform. In the recent past, our president has been insulted. There's no need, he's not setting a good example. I was reminding the youth not to follow what the president is doing. And I also told him to say, we're encouraging the church to maybe get to the president, sit him down. I heard the insult he was having against Gary Congo and the mother. That's very unfortunate. Those are the same insults this was directing at the police officers. So you can imagine as leaders, you can actually put the country on fire. You can set a very bad example for the youth. this youth felt so free to direct his insults at the president. And he may have heard his insults from the president, as it were. Wow. So it was very unfortunate. And we think that, the church has to get involved and probably sit the president down.
I wish we can go on and on, Mr. President, but time is not our best ally. And thank you so much for making time to sit with us on Zambia Decides on this program. So that's it from us in Chingola as the team heads to Northwestern Province. You've heard reflections from the president on the campaign trail here on the Copper Belt. It remains for us to wish him and the team all the very best as they count down to the August 13 general elections. Until next time, the Lord bless you and keep you. Bye-bye.
Tumone amavina tumone, ashe filimba tumone.